And that's when the Civil War is going to start. I'm not looking forward to it, but people trying to get out of Dodge, get to their little ranch or whatever, they pull up, and the pedos want to rob the vehicle and maybe take your kids to a re-education camp, which they admit they have. That's when it's going to be, what do they call it, rock and roll? Rock and roll. And they got armored pillboxes with 50 cals they're going to open up on you and your family. They're going to send in some Switchblade drones. Hoorah against the American people. Score one for Goldman Sachs. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah. Rout the slaves with little buck-toothed, snot-nosed 20-year-olds, you know, at Homeland Security flying the drones 1,000 miles away. I got 2 kills today, boss. I killed the Patriots. You know, that's exactly how these people operate. There it is, Pentagon, to soon deploy pint-sized but lethal Switchblade drones. Against the... Guys, people won't believe it. Will you print me Texas police want armed drones, and turns out a bunch have already bought them? And at first, it'll just be pepper spray and rubber bullets they've announced. But then nerve gas, shotguns, mini missiles, 50 cals. Oh, it's so lavish. By the way, we thought about actually getting one, but I thought it was too dangerous for the video shoot we did. We actually have catalogs where you can buy drones yourself that have guns mounted to them. And again, it's all so cowards in government can start a civil war and launch drones and combat UGVs on us. Hey, folks, people aren't going to run out and face the UGVs, and no amount of checkpoints is going to save you. If you go to this physical globalist takeover, people are going to come find you in your homes, at your bars, your churches, and your restaurants. You cannot stop people once the vendettas begin. You go in the bathroom at church, somebody's waiting in there with an ice pick. I don't want this civil war to start, but folks, if they do start trying to round everybody up, we've got the initiative, we've got the power. 50,000 drones, 100,000. It means nothing. We will not face them on their turf. We will strike when we want to strike in the Infowar and beyond, defending the Republic from foreign globalist occupiers. Former Minnesota Governor Jesse Ventura is going to be joining us and breaking some big news. Be sure and stay with us. That's in about 52 minutes from now. At the bottom of the hour, I said I'd get to this yesterday. I just ran out of time. I will get into United Nations envisions transhumanist future where man is obsolete. Now I'm going to play highlights from the UN conference here and stop it and start it and analyze it. So that is coming up at the bottom of the hour, a key report to understand how the globalists think and the world they think they're building. See, all the tech has back doors in it designed to not empower humanity, but absolutely dumb you down and enslave you. So the big secrets of the transhumanist leadership, does that mean that anyone that talks about augmenting humanity through technology is bad? No, it's not a judgment on that issue itself, but you need to know Aldous Huxley's brother, Julian Huxley, the head of UNESCO at the UN, said Hitler made eugenics look bad, and he founded the transhumanist in the late 1940s. So it is an offshoot of the globalists trying to become godmen. I'm not the one saying that. When I broke that down in Endgame, big publications over and over again say Jones believes all this stuff's going to happen. No, I'm not the one saying this. My film reports on what they're saying and doing with the quotes, with the articles, with the video clips. And they are madmen. But our entire society is governed by this. You can talk about a few countries in Africa, Middle East that haven't adopted the globalist program. The globalist program is so advanced in every case, so far ahead. It's a lie that the West is only thinking quarterly. They get us in the false paradigm politically that we follow via the media template to live in a quarterly mindset so that we're not long-term thinkers. But when you hear the Chinese or 25-year thinkers and the Japanese, folks, the globalists, and Brzezinski's written about this, are thinking in 100-year, 50-year, and 25-year plans. Okay? That's why they created the internet. That's why they discovered DNA. Look it up. Everything. Biometrics, 150 years old. Eugenics. Genome. Eugenics. All of them were eugenicists because the robber barons over 150 years ago in Europe, England, and the United States, funded only scientific research along those lines and would blackball, target, and even kill scientists that didn't play ball. And it wasn't just with genetics. It was with technologies like electricity. They shut down Tesla. That's on record, raided him. And everybody adopt the other systems. We live in a society they built. And I played you a clip from the precursor of Charlie Rose's show with that Hefner character on there with the authors of The Wise Men back in the 80s, admitting these are the guys that built our modern world. Carol Quigley says that. And so people say, well, go ahead and let them rule. They built the world. They built what we live in. They want us dead. They're getting down towards the final end game. And they've made a lot of mistakes. It's just that they were able to take over because they were ruthless. All right, I'm already getting into this news. The point is, okay, let's say some of you elitists that follow these guys want to be elitists. You say, well, they're in control. Why not, let them have control? Obviously, they got control. That's social Darwinistic garbage. And again, I'm not debating Darwinism one way or the other. The social Darwinism, this idea that if you can get away with something, do it. That is very, very destructive. And the point is the globalists are going to destroy themselves. But that's coming up. Let me get into drones right now. Again, I told you more than 15 years ago that there was a plan to fully convert the entire Pentagon system, Air Force, Army, Marines, Navy, to the entire helicopter, fixed-wing aircraft system, 100% to drone, with only some troop transports themselves that are computer flown on autopilot with humans basically as like toilet attendants. The New World Order wants abject programming in humans. That's what shaving the head, brainwashing, the whole military training developed by the Prussians 300 years ago that took over military training. It's all about making you follow orders like a machine. Well, the Pentagon, top futurist like Mr. Marshall at the Pentagon, they've all said humans are done. How did I know all this 14, 15 years ago? Because I was reading their own documents on air. But this was more academic at the time. It was not widely publicized. People said, Jones is crazy. You can pull these up. Jones says we're going to face combat ground robots. Jones says the entire military force will be drones, and they're going to be domestically. Jones says there's already giant blimps at 100,000 feet or more with ground-penetrating radar looking through our walls. It was Pentagon budget. I mean, it was in there, just nobody wanted to talk about it. Jones says they can park these blimps up there and microwave you slowly in your house. You don't know why you die of cancer. That's a Pentagon admission. Jones says they're weaponizing dolphins. Jones is crazy. What's he think? This is Buck Rogers? Well, yeah, Buck Rogers came out in the 20s, folks. It's 2012. Back then it was, 2000, 1998. Everything you see in the Matrix movie is in a Pentagon plan they published in 2000 that was declassified from the 70s. Does that mean they're going to actually do that? All I know is everything they've wanted to do, they're a little bit behind, but they've gotten exactly what they would say. And you see, soon you're going to have total interfaces with computers. You'll be able to have unlimited pleasure centers. Philip K. Dick called these wireheads. And people will want, and they're going to say it's for the environment, to be in these pods. And they've got movies out. I saw it. I forget the one with Bruce Willis where, he's like this old, dirty, unhealthy, debilitated guy who's got atrophied muscle. It's called Surrogates. But then he's got his handsome young body out there walking around. That's a Pentagon plan. And the UN came out and announced all of that in this video that's coming up. I'm already getting into it, as you notice. So I watch with horror as they build this thing, and Ray Kurzweil doesn't tell you. They don't tell you at this UN meeting where it's all happy and lovey and it's going to be utopia like Zeitgeist, where we all live in the plastic cities together, that long before this is implemented, they plan to release giant bio attacks to be blamed on private groups to then have giant police state crackdowns, and the next bio-attack will be an order of magnitude bigger, and they plan to kill almost everyone. And that's all stated, too, in hundreds and hundreds of documents, but then that's why you see it in movies and culture. They're getting you ready, and they have Discovery and History Channel shows about the end of humans and how wonderful it'll be and how the nature will come back, and because they're preparing you with a self-fulfilling prophecy to accept the end. And all the globalists talk about is how they hate the malls and the water parks and ugly humanity. And then they give you propaganda so you act in an ugly way to make you the losers they say you are. And they plan to kill almost everyone listening to this show right now. And so I'm ashamed of myself caring about Ron Paul and Rand Paul beginning to waffle some. You know what? They're allies for basic liberty, Second Amendment, stuff like that. But they're informed. Ron Paul knew HIV was a weapon 2 decades ago and has been criticized for it. Ron Paul knows everything I know and more at many levels. And he doesn't think the public's ready to hear that, and he thinks he's going to work with the system. He's wrong. But Ron Paul is not our enemy. Ron Paul is our friend. And it doesn't even matter. Look, everything is about getting people to realize that we're being inserted into an artificial habitat in the globalist own words, and that more and more they're getting the global government they want and the total micromanaged system, and that we've got to shake people out of their trance. And I've been thinking this for a long time. I've thought about radical departures from what I do here on air and starting a foundation for the continuation of the human species, the Human Preservation Foundation, something along those lines, and really getting coteries of people that understand this and creating cell groups, public cell groups, that are aware, that educate and prepare people, because it's going to be bad, okay? And it's really going to unseat the system that I've spent time studying their master plan, that even most of their top minions are deluded and are compartmentalized because they're lazy. They could learn all this, that if we can actually create a 3D model of this and put it in cyberspace of the master plan, if we do it soon enough, it will be so devastating as it all unfolds that people will see it as prophecy. It isn't prophecy, and then they will finally listen. And so I've been spinning my wheels, wasting my time, and I've known this. I've known this. I mean, look, I can't even go on air and goof around and have fun anymore, or cover this news item or that, or plant hooks for the radio audience. And even I don't even plug sponsors hardly anymore to even fund our operation, because it's just all window dressing, I realize. I am fully beginning to break the matrix in my own mind and getting a clearer image of all this. And we've got to show people it's a mass illusion. I mean, look, I told you about all this, not because I'm smart. It's all an admitted plan. Navy drone crashes off Maryland. No injuries. Just getting everybody ready for that. Find out how your local police agency is using drones, including Predators. Electronic Frontier Foundation. U.S. drone crashes in Maryland. Already covered that. We've got a report out here, again, we'll put it up on screen, where they've got these new pint-sized drones, Los Angeles Times, Pentagon to soon deploy pint-sized but lethal switchblade drones. And that's what I explained in the video we shot, drones shot down over Texas, was that the system, click on the LA Times thing, see the photo of it, please. The blue link right there, thank you. If you're watching at Prisonplanet.tv. The system knows that we're waking up to all this, so they're just rapid deploying it. That's why we shot down pint-sized drones, because that's what we're mainly going to be facing. Giant assembly lines, not making slave goods anymore for Walmart. Because we can sit here and chronicle power-mad people at every level going wild, and the coordinated implosion of economies, deindustrialization, all the admitted plans, the admissions of GMO designed to reduce our fertility until we've got to go to the system to be reactivated. They're not going to ask you. They're just doing it. All of this is already so deep into the plan that people walk over to me at swim meets and things and want to talk about sports and stuff, and I just look at them like they're a pygmy trying to tell me about the booga booga, dragon or something that they say sneaks around in the woods. I mean, it's like talking to mental midgets. And I'm not on a power trip. I've just learned that the